Luke tells us that Mary went in haste to see her cousin Elizabeth. That's important. After all, it must have been pretty dangerous in those days to be traveling, especially for a young teenage girl who was unwed and pregnant. And so Mary, in haste, left Nazareth on the very first train out of town. She probably didn't have time to pack a bag, but she didn't go empty-handed either. Mary carried something very important with her on that trip to the hill country of Judah. I'm sure no one who saw her as she walked along the dusty road noticed that she was carrying anything. But she was. She had a gift to give to her cousin Elizabeth. There is something very beautiful and freeing about receiving a gift and then giving that gift away. Mary had received a gift. It was at first a hidden, secret gift, but she wanted more than anything else to give it away. The gift, believe it or not, was a word. It was the Word. It was the Word made flesh. It was really the only thing that Mary had at this dangerous moment in her life of faith. But it is so precious a gift that she wants to hand deliver it to her dear cousin Elizabeth. You know, there's nothing like hand delivering a beautiful gift to one that you love. I mean, I enjoy receiving gifts, and sometimes they come in the mail and sometimes they're put by my door. But when someone who really loves me gives me the gift personally, it means a lot. I think about the small little child who paints a picture in school with great pomp and circumstance, and then on Mother's Day, he gives it to his mom, and she takes this painting and she places it on the refrigerator, and it stays there for years. Or I think of the Eucharistic minister in our parish who takes time on Sunday afternoon to carry Jesus, the bread of life, the Word made flesh, to an infirmed woman in the neighborhood every Sunday. I think of a nurse at Brigham and Women's Hospital picking up a tiny newborn baby boy and gently placing that boy in the arms of his joyful mother for the first time. I think of mothers years ago in Argentina where I was helping out, who every Sunday, very early in the morning before the sun came up, cooked meals and then hopped on buses that traveled most of the day in order to bring a taste of home to their sons who were suffering from AIDS in a clinic run by the Missionary Sisters of Charity. All these gifts being hand-delivered to people, from people who love them. You know, we live in times of emails and voicemails and hotmail.com and snail mail and express mail. I mean, we have FedEx and DHL and UPS packages from one corner of the world to another. And believe me, it's a marvel to behold and to be living at this time in our lives. But Mary didn't email the news to Elizabeth. She didn't text the angel's message to her. She hand-delivered it. You know why? Because there are some gifts that can only be given in person. I think you know what I'm saying. I mean, when Elizabeth opened the door that day in her small Judean village, the last person she ever expected to see was her young cousin, Miriam of Nazareth. There she was, tired from her journey with beads of dusty sweat on her forehead and upper lip, smiling at a very pregnant Elizabeth, and then gently greeting her. And then, in a very undramatic way, gave her gift away. It was a word that had begun to weave itself into the very fabric of Mary's own being, her womb. But like God, Mary wanted nothing more than to give this beautiful gift to others. And isn't that what it means for each of us to share the good news with others? To share the life of Christ that we receive in the Eucharist at liturgy? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? That we're not building up graces for ourselves and storing away in the barns of our soul. We're meant to go out and to share this life, to give this gift to someone else. Oh, sure, we can email and snail mail our gospel verses. We can blog about the scriptures. We can exchange stories of faith on Facebook. But there is nothing like carrying the word in the womb of your heart and sharing that word with others. There is nothing more powerful and more beautiful than looking into the eyes of someone that you love or a stranger and speaking words, not necessarily vocally, but through our actions and our gestures and our words, that spring from this Word made flesh in you, that gives the other to whom you're sharing it with life, and mysteriously makes you and the other suddenly one. When we share the Word through our speech and actions, for a moment, just for a moment, the receiver sees the face of God. You know, they say that words are cheap. But when our message to another echoes the Word, they are anything but cheap. They are precious to behold. They are powerful enough to cause another heart to leap for joy, to cry with gratitude, to groan with hope, to sigh with relief, to breathe with new life. As we continue with this novena and pray to Our Lady, may the Holy Spirit in you, may the Word made flesh that lives in you through your baptism and through the power of God's Spirit, may it touch the life of another today and help them to see the face of God.